Hi, Nathan here with CBI Off-Road. Today we want to go over our 5th generation 4Runner front bumper for the 2014 to current 4Runner models. We want to basically just show all the details of this bumper. To begin with, we offer this bumper in 2 different configurations as far as the material. We offer a steel bumper and an aluminum bumper. Just for reference, the aluminum bumper is close to half the weight of the steel. So this bumper right here that we're showing with the centered grill guard, it's about 115 pounds, give or take, in steel. Going to aluminum, this bumper is going to be about 60 pounds. Closer to 58 actually, but anyways, between 58 and 60 pounds is what this bumper is in aluminum. As far as the construction goes, the steel bumper is going to be 3/16 plating for the majority of the bumper, 1/4 inch mounting. For the aluminum version, it's all 1/4 inch, so the skin, the mounting on the winch and all that is 1/4 inch aluminum. We also have internal gussets that run on the wings and gusset and reinforce the winch mount as well. And then also it's important to note that the D-rings pass through the entire face of the bumper and they're welded to the winch mount and the vertical support, which comes off the frame mounting right in this area. So you can be sure that your winch is gonna be mounted very securely in the bumper, whether it's steel or aluminum. And you're going to know that the bumper itself is structurally reinforced to handle that winching motion and the stresses and issues that come from winching. Several other things that are important to note: we offer multiple grill guard options. So as you can see, this version right here is our centered grill guard. We offer a non-grill guard version, so you just take that one away and it's just a flat bumper, very clean, factory looking setup when you go that route. And then we offer the full grill guard version, so you get a taller center grill guard with the full grill guard, and then of course the headlight protection. Full grill guard's a good way to go if you're going to be worrying about animals on the road, things like that. If you're in areas where there's lots of trees, anything that is going to come in contact with the upper portion of the grill or the headlights, then the full grill guard's a great way to go. If you do just the short center grill guard, you can see that we've designed this grill guard so it'll work with the TRD Pro models. It won't cover this center section, and with the non-Pro models. So that's a choice that you have. Let's move down to the light bar setup. So we have this opening that runs the width of the center section of the bumper. You can leave this open. It provides great access into your winch and provides great visibility into your winch line if you want to leave it open. If you do want to run a light bar, we do offer several configurations for the light bar fitment. So this particular bumper is running a dual row 30-inch light bar. You can run a dual row or a single row, whatever you'd prefer. The dual row, you're just going to have the housing of the light that is shown in the lenses. I mean, for the single row, the entire housing will be shown as well in this opening. If you go down to the bottom of the bumper here, the center plate where the fair lead mounts on, this plate is removable. You can't install the winch through that. It's just an access point during installation that helps. The other cool thing is, just like is shown on this bumper, you can color match or customize this center plate, by doing a different color or whatever you wanted. So that's another cool feature. One of the main things that we're known for on this bumper is the design and how it flows with the factory bumper and the little side gills, as they're sometimes referred to. So right here you can see that we've integrated this side grill portion here that integrates in the factory bumper with the factory fog light. We've done that same motion in this bumper. These are bolt-on plates that we use to mimic that grill and that styling, so it flows from the headlight down and through into our grill. Again, this provides some opportunity for customization. You can powder coat or color these whatever way you want. These all come standard with the bumper. As long as we're in this area, the fog lights, you can remount your factory fog lights. Each bumper comes with some new brackets that we provide that allow the factory fogs to mount up in our fog light holes. Or if you want to go with an aftermarket light, then you can do that as well. You can fit most lights up to about 4 inches, if give or take a little more than 4 inches as well, depending on the depth of the light and how it's situated with the mounting bracket that comes with it. But that's another option. You can go aftermarket or mount your factory fogs. Okay, so another thing that we want to cover on this bumper is the cutting. Everybody's wondering where you cut, how you make the cut, all of that. So if we take a look at the bumper, you're cutting in 2 spots really. If you come around to the side of the bumper here, your factory bumper comes along this line right here and then drops down. So there's a factory line right here. You do not do any cutting from the wheel well basically to this point. Once you hit this point, there's a measurement we provide down from this body seam. You're going to make a mark here, and then you're going to connect those with painter's tape. And that cut is going to just follow that straight across all the way to the center portion of the grill. It's important to remember this plastic that makes up your factory bumper. There's no metal in it, so it's very easy to cut. We use a cut-off wheel when we do it, and we mark it with tape. And just take your time and just take it nice and easy. Make that cut. Because of the heat of the cutting wheel, it'll gall up the plastic a little bit. Once it's cooled down, you just pop it off and it just comes off super clean. As far as the center section of the bumper goes, there's a portion of the grill that you're going to cut off. You're going to basically leave the first row of I don't know, trapezoids, whatever that shape is. You'll leave the first row and then you're just going to cut the connecting point on the bottom. So again, it's very simple. You just go straight across, very easy to do, and then follow the same cut path on the other side, and that'll match up with the wheel well. The other thing that's important to remember is this cut area, because it's plastic, it'll cut just perfect. If you get a little wavy in your cut, you can use a sanding disc or a flapper disc and just sand it down to your tape line or your marked cut line, and you can get this absolutely perfect if you spend a little time and effort doing that. The other thing that works well is you don't have to use trim. Because it's painted plastic and it cuts so clean, it looks like a factory edge, just like you'd see on your hood or other body panels. And so you don't have to use the trim. We do not supply trim with this bumper, but you can purchase it as an option and add it. And that's what you see on this bumper. He's got the trim in these sections, and he's just covering that cut edge. So if you make a great clean cut, you don't need to use the trim. If you're a little sloppy on the cutting or it's a little wavy, you may want to consider using the trim. All right, moving over to the passenger side, we want to talk about our washer plate skid. So right under the factory bumper in this area, you have your factory reservoir for your windshield washer fluid. That reservoir sits tucked up in this area and becomes semi-exposed once you put our bumper on. We offer this optional skid plate that you can purchase. It bolts onto the bumper and to the frame here on the bottom, and that provides protection for your washer skid, your washer reservoir skid. And the other thing that it does is it helps to hide it. It's a clear plastic reservoir. It stands out once you open up this area into the wheel well and kind of becomes an eyesore. So this skid plate also helps to cover that and to hide it. We always recommend, no matter what color you're doing the bumper, do your washer skid reservoir in black. So again, it just blends into the underside of the truck, and your eye will start to pass that and go straight to the suspension and the visibility of the tire rather than that washer skid. So that's an optional accessory. You can purchase that with any of our front bumpers. great option to protect that reservoir and to hide it. One other thing that we want to go over is those of you who have the newer limited versions, your bumpers are different. You don't have the scoop here with the fog light integration in the same way. If you have a limited model of 4Runner, then you're not going to want to purchase this bumper, although it will fit. Our 2010 to 2013 model of front bumper is going to fit the best. The way it's designed for that real flat front and the solid cut angle around. So it'll integrate a lot better with the limited 4Runner than it will with a version like this. So just something to keep in mind if you have that particular model. One other thing that we'd like to mention is winch access. If you're running a light bar like this particular customer is in the front, then you can create winch access through the hood here. If you open up the hood, there's a plastic cover basically that covers this area between the radiator and the front bumper. And what we do is we cut an opening there for winch access. So if you're running a Xeon Platinum winch or something like that where you have a power switch to the solenoid box, it gives you access to that. It gives you access to the winch line itself. Not only physical access, but visible access as well. So that's another thing that you may want to consider when you're installing this bumper. One other thing too regarding winch fitment is most winches with a non-integrated solenoid box are going to work perfectly in our bumper. Shouldn't really matter on the brand or the size up to 12,000 pounds. If you go with a winch that has an integrated solenoid box, or if you go with like the Warn Xeon winch, those winches, because the solenoid boxes are integrated or potentially can be integrated with the Xeon winch, they're taller. And there's actually a Grille support here in the center that's going to interfere with that solenoid box. So you can either trim down that support or you can relocate your solenoid box. A lot of times we will either recommend that it's relocated to the engine bay somewhere, or you can make a bracket between the two radiator supports and bolt it you know, on the far side of the radiator, and that works really well also. So just another option you can consider when you're thinking about what winch you want to mount in here and what's going to fit in our bumper.